Welcome to 50 Plus Health Guardian, where you don't just live longer, but live better. 68% of women over 50 still crave intimacy, but they choose silence. You might not believe this. A nationwide survey by AARP in 2020, the largest organization for people over 50 in the US, revealed a startling number. Yes, nearly 7 out of 10 women still feel a strong desire to be close, to be loved, to be held. But what's even more shocking is that most of them choose silence. They don't tell their husbands, don't confide in friends, don't share with their children. Simply because they're afraid of being judged. They fear being seen as too old to want that. Fear being called strange. Fear the shame of admitting, I still want to be loved. Are you living in that silence? Or are you a husband, a son, completely unaware that the woman beside you is carrying deep, unspoken emotions? Listen to the real story of Susan Walker, 56, from Ohio. She's the typical American woman, kind, devoted, always putting her husband and children first. And she also remained silent for 7 years after entering menopause. Even though she still felt the desire inside, still wanted to be close to her husband, still longed for affection, she told herself, at this age I probably shouldn't bother him. I'm too old for that now. Meanwhile, her husband David thought, she's probably not interested in that anymore. And so they both guessed, both stayed silent, both drifted apart, without ever saying a word. Until one day, Susan discovered David was having an affair with a younger colleague, not because he stopped loving his wife, not because he wanted to betray her, but because the physical and emotional connection between them had quietly vanished. When she confronted him, she asked just one question, "Do you still love me?" And David replied, "Yes, but we've been living like roommates for too long. Sex after 50 doesn't disappear. It gets buried under stigma, hidden behind shame, forgotten due to a lack of understanding. Millions of women over 50 still have hearts that ache and long. They still want to be touched, to be heard, to be loved, but because they fear ridicule, they choose silence. Silent, but still yearning. Silent, but deeply lonely. If you're a woman over 50, or a husband, a child, or someone close to a woman in this stage of life, it's time to break the silence. Follow 50 Plus Health Guardian. Here, we speak the truth about desire, about health, and about mature sexuality. This is a space where you'll be heard, understood, and reminded that the flame doesn't die with age. It only dims beneath time and judgment. You deserve to be loved, at any age. Because sexuality doesn't retire, only hearts that stop speaking do. So, what keeps women over 50 desiring so deeply? And why is that desire so different from when they were young? The answer lies in the next part. Part 2. Why women over 50 still feel sexual desire. Untold truth. Desire doesn't disappear, it simply changes form. When people think of women over 50, the first image that comes to mind is often of a mother, a grandmother, a quiet woman easing into her sunset years. Few realize that inside that body still lives the same full range of emotions as in her 20s, and even fewer understand that sexual desire doesn't fade with age. It simply changes in how it looks, how strong it is, and most importantly, how it's expressed. Contrary to popular belief, postmenopausal women still produce a small amount of testosterone, a hormone that plays a significant role in maintaining sexual desire. Yes, estrogen drops, but testosterone remains, and even in small amounts, it's enough to keep the inner flame alive, if it's sparked the right way. Also, after 50, desire no longer comes just from the body, but from the mind, memory, emotional connection, and self-worth. Have you noticed? Many women after 50 start to love themselves more deeply. They no longer chase external validation. They know what they want. They understand their bodies. And if given the attention, care, and emotional safety they need, they can experience a deeper and more satisfying sex life than ever before. Many women have shared that it's only after 50 that intimacy feels more meaningful, more heartfelt, and more emotionally connected. Not out of obligation, or for children, or just to please a partner, but because it's about truly living as the woman they've become. In fact, a study published in Menopause Journal, 2021, found that 43% of women over 50 reported higher sexual satisfaction after menopause due to better self-awareness and a more emotionally attuned partner. Take Carol, 62, for example. She divorced at 55, feeling her marriage had gone cold. But when she started dating again, worked out regularly, and dared to speak openly about her desires, she said, "I've never felt this happy or this free in my sexuality." Still, because society rarely talks about desire in middle-aged women, many feel like outliers. Am I weird for still wanting this? Shouldn't I be past this by now? No, you are not weird. Desire doesn't have an age limit. Emotions don't expire. Sex isn't just for the young. In fact, many couples in their 60s or 70s continue to have a regular sex life and report it being better than ever, simply because they've moved past shame and societal expectations. The real question isn't, do women still want sex after 50? It's, do you dare to admit it and live honestly with your needs? Once a woman dares to listen to her body, talk to her partner, and love herself again, 50 or 60 becomes just a number. Don't let outdated norms or judgments silence your emotions. If you're alive, if you love, if you still feel, then you deserve every beautiful part of life, including this one. Part 3. Why some women lose desire after 50. It's not about age, but about the silent forces no one talks about, we. Now understand that women over 50 can absolutely still have sexual desire, but why do some feel that sex becomes more distant, dry, even frightening? The answer lies in a series of hidden factors that deeply affect the intimate lives of middle-aged women. First, hormonal changes. As women enter perimenopause and menopause, estrogen levels drop rapidly. This doesn't just affect mood, it leads to physical changes like vaginal dryness, loss of elasticity, reduced natural lubrication, and lower blood flow to intimate areas. All of these make sex uncomfortable, even painful. Many women describe sharp, burning, or stinging sensations during intercourse and begin to avoid sex. Not because they've lost desire, but because they fear pain, fear disappointment, and fear not feeling like themselves anymore. Then there are psychological factors, often overlooked, but incredibly powerful. Many women after 50 begin to feel insecure about their bodies. They fear no longer being attractive, fear sagging skin, soft bellies, aging breasts. They fear comparison to their younger selves or to other women. That self-doubt can kill desire before it even has a chance to spark. Social pressure and stigma also cause women to shut down. You're too old for that now. Sex is for the young. Your focus should be your health. These statements, though casually said, become damaging mental scripts repeated over time, making women retreat from their feelings. And then there's a crucial piece: physical health and chronic conditions. After 50, many women begin to live with conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, joint pain, mild depression, and insomnia. These don't just drain energy, they also bring side effects like chronic fatigue, physical discomfort, and reduced natural hormone production. Additionally, medications, especially antidepressants and blood pressure drugs, can decrease libido or affect emotional response. And finally, let's not forget a vital factor: the quality of the relationship with their partner. If a partner becomes emotionally distant, inattentive, or dismissive of her feelings, it's easy for a woman to give up. The less connection, the more loneliness she feels. And when emotional intimacy fades, physical intimacy often follows. In short, women do not lose their desire after 50. It's simply suppressed, numbed, and paralyzed by internal and external forces. But this is not the end of the story. With awareness, support, and care, a woman can reclaim her confidence, her pleasure, and her joy in intimacy, no matter her age. Part 4. Sex after 50. Less frequent, more meaningful. It's not about how often, it's about how deeply you connect. Here's a surprising truth most people overlook. When we're young, sex is often instinctive. But after 50, sex becomes intentional, more meaningful, more intimate. Many believe that with age, as sexual frequency declines, quality must too. But the truth is quite the opposite. Many mature women report that their sex lives after 50 feel deeper, more fulfilling, and more emotionally connected than ever before. Why? Because at this age, women no longer obsess over appearances. They understand their bodies. They know what feels good, what boundaries to set, what brings comfort. They no longer perform to please others. They begin to make love for themselves. Also, after years together, couples often become more in sync, no longer distracted by work, kids, or societal expectations. Sex becomes less of a duty and more of a silent conversation between souls. A 2022 study from the University of Michigan found couples over 55 had sex 1-2 times per week on average, and over 72% reported their sex life as good or very good. It's not about how often. It's about listening, understanding, and giving without fear. Picture an intimate moment that isn't rushed, not to check a box, not to prove anything, but simply to share warmth, affection, and true connection. A gentle glance, a soft touch, a quiet whisper. Sometimes that's the pinnacle of intimacy in later life. In fact, many women admit they never felt fully satisfied with sex when they were younger, too busy, too anxious, too inexperienced. Only after 50 did they truly become the master of their bodies and emotions. Of course, not everyone gets there easily. Past trauma, fear of vulnerability, or poor communication can turn sex into a burden. But if you're brave enough to open up, and if your partner truly listens, even one intimate moment a week can feel like falling in love all over again. It's not about numbers. It's about connection, about being truly present in that moment, about being yourself in the arms of someone who sees you, and if that's the case, then 50 isn't the end of your sex life. It's the beginning of a new, richer, deeper chapter. Part 5. How to reignite your sexual desire after 50. If you want to feel love again, start by loving yourself. If you're in your 50s and wondering, how can I rekindle that spark in intimacy? How do I stop feeling dry, tired, or emotionally distant? Here's the good news. You absolutely can love again, and even better than before. You just need to know where to begin. The first and most important step: take care of your body. Don't underestimate the power of physical activity. A brisk daily walk, gentle yoga, or even 10 minutes of morning stretches can improve blood flow, boost natural hormones, and help you feel so much more alive. A healthy body is the foundation where sexual energy can naturally awaken, without pressure or force. Second, don't hesitate to talk to your doctor. If you're experiencing vaginal dryness, pain during intercourse, or a long-term loss of libido, don't stay silent. Your doctor can help with options like non-hormonal lubricants, localized estrogen therapy, or other hormone-supportive treatments. Using supportive products isn't a sign of weakness. It's smart self-care. Third, give yourself permission to rediscover your emotions. Many people think sex is just a routine, but routine can dull emotion. Try something new. A Softer position, a different setting, or a heartfelt conversation before intimacy. Sometimes, a single candle, a slow song, or an evening without phones can reignite closeness you thought was lost. Here's a tip. Speak up about what you want. Do you want to be touched more gently, held longer, need more time before getting started? Say it. No one understands your needs better than you. Fourth, remember that your mental state matters more than you think. Stress, pressure, and fatigue are quiet enemies of desire. Find ways to decompress each day. Read, meditate, listen to music, garden, or just sit quietly with a warm cup of tea. You deserve calm. And when your mind is at peace, your heart opens more easily. And finally, perhaps most importantly, talk to your partner. Intimacy can't flourish if only one person is trying. Invite your partner to watch a video on sexual wellness with you, go for a walk and talk about your feelings, or simply ask, "Do you still find me attractive? I want to feel closer to you. Can we reconnect again?" Sometimes these simple conversations are the strongest catalyst for reconnection. Remember, sex after 50 isn't just about instinct. It's a conscious choice, and you can choose to love again, deeply, mindfully, and joyfully. Part 6. Final Thoughts. It's time for women 50 plus to speak the truth, live honestly, and love fully. If you've made it this far, I believe you've already realized something powerful. Desire doesn't disappear with age. It simply gets buried beneath layers of shame, self-doubt, and unnamed wounds. It's time for women over 50 and those around them to understand. You are not wrong for still wanting love. You are not shameful for still craving closeness, and you are never alone in your journey to rediscover yourself. You don't have to be like anyone else. You don't have to settle. You don't have to hide your truth out of fear of judgment, because sexuality, like love, is sacred. It isn't defined by your age, but by your connection, your honesty, and your courage to live authentically. You may have spent years giving everything to others, to your husband, your children, your family. And in doing so, you may have forgotten that you too deserve to be nourished. Today, give yourself permission to begin again. Whether you're 50, 60, or beyond, start with a conversation. Start with a walk. Start with a confession you've never dared to say. Or simply, with a smile in the mirror at the woman you still are. Strong, beautiful, deserving, and if you need a place to continue this journey, a place without judgment, filled with understanding, knowledge, and support, then come to 50 Plus Health Guardian. This isn't just a health channel. It's a space where we help you reignite your instinct to love, help you understand your body, and most importantly, help you embrace your desire as a beautiful, dignified part of mature life. Here, you'll hear real stories from real women who are slowly breaking the silence to live more fully again. So, hit follow on 50 Plus Health Guardian. Don't miss our upcoming videos on mature sexual education, the things no one ever taught you, but you've always needed to know, to live healthy, to live beautifully, to live truthfully. And remember, you're not too old to love. In fact, you may be at the perfect age to love more deeply than ever before.